Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at Joy Disability. Welcome to the channel, and I hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to All Things Social Security. Today is our Red Friday, combined with our fraud law review. Big shout out of thanks to our deployed military members who can't be home like we can be. So I hope everyone here is enjoying the freedom as much as I am and are as appreciative of our military members who are doing all this for us. So that said, let's go on to what we have going on. Looks like this just came out June 3rd, so just the other day. Kansas woman sentenced to prison for stealing deceased relatives' identity to fraudulently receive benefits. Again, I thought those dead Social Security numbers didn't pay out benefits to fraudsters. So let's see what went on here. Obviously, it was Kansas. She was sentenced. I'm going to say her name. This was Tamera Ruth Powers, age 68, of, I'm going to butcher this, Tonganoxie, and she pled guilty. And to get the plea, she only had to plead guilty to one count of wire fraud. I suspect there was a lot more counts that could have been had. Okay, so she had fraudulently stolen almost $500,000 by simultaneously collecting federal and state government benefits in her own name and through identity theft. She stole the identity, and she pled, by the way, so that's why I said her name. She's not entitled to the presumption of innocence at this point. She stole the identity of a relative, I'm not going to say the relative's name, who died in 1977. That's a long time ago. The not so nice Ms. Powers used her relative's identity to obtain a Kansas identification card and to marry a man by the name of, I don't know if we need to know his name either. I just don't like to pull other people into it that may not have anything to do with it. Certainly the dead person doesn't. Ms. Powers then began using the new name, we'll call her Minda. Ms. Powers defrauded the U.S. government and the state of Kansas by receiving benefits under separate identities. She maintained accounts at two different banks to receive payments under her own name and her alias name of Minda. In 2005, she applied for Social Security Administration disability benefits under the Minda name. 7 years later, in 2012, she applied for disability benefits in her actual name, stating on the application that she had not previously applied for SS benefits. It's so funny, you always hear people living double lives. Usually we're talking about like a second family, and they have two wives and two sets of kids and all that craziness that movies are made out of. This reminds me of that, but it has to do with two different Social Security stealings. The following year in 2013, then she applies for SSI, the fund we have that the taxpayers pay to keep people who don't have Social Security and didn't work recently enough for it off the streets. It's for the poor people who are either 65 or older or under 65 and disabled. So she's clearly not poor given all the benefits she's collecting, and she applies for SSI using her real name. She lied about her marital status and failed to disclose previously using another name and Social Security number. Okay. This lady is one. She's slick, and then she got caught, but gosh, it took him a long time. It's just incredible, the fraud and the length of time it takes. We're never getting that $500,000 back. So that was money that was intended to go to the people that paid in for it in the Social Security Trust Fund. And then another set of monies was supposed to go to the poor people that other people are supporting. But little Miss Fancy Pants want to take some of that too. Greed has no bounds. Also in 2013, she applied for assistance from the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program and the SNAP program through the state of Kansas. She didn't report she was married or that she was receiving more money to which she was entitled. Later on that same year, in December, she began receiving Medicaid benefits through the state of Kansas. She did not disclose that marriage still, true household income, or that she had used other names which would have made her ineligible for any Medicaid benefits. And by the way, she was probably also getting Medicare. They don't really mention it here, I don't think. But if she was getting SSDI, she was getting Medicare. So she had Medicare, Medicaid, and all these different benefits on different names. In June 2023, she applied, here we go, retirement insurance benefits through the SSA. In the application, she falsely stated that she was not married and she failed to disclose that she had used other names. Based upon, and you know what's funny? In the retirement question, the basis for the question is generally to see if you might have a better work record from which to get a higher retirement amount. So let's say you were a spouse and your mate had a much higher lifetime income than you. The amount you could take under his work record might actually be higher than what you had in your own work record, particularly if you were a slacker, which I suspect she was. But that's the question that they also got her for lying about. But she was lying for other reasons, for fraudulent reasons. And that the fact that she had used other names, they asked that on all of these applications. I know on the SSD ones, if you had any other names. And the impression I always had from that was probably, yeah, to make sure you didn't have like two Social Security accounts because people have wonky names. But I always thought it was perhaps also so what, because it all happens together when you're given the medical information. If they want to make sure they ask the medical providers all the different names you could have been using on your medical records so that they can get all the medical records to help you, prove you're disabled from the medical records. Anyway, based upon her scheme, which was estimated to have gone on for greater than 10 years, the United States, I guess the feds lost over 135,000, and the state of Kansas lost over 300,000. Cray, cray. And then they go on and they give a bunch of blurby little quotations that they do. Public benefits provide a safety net to those who need. Yeah, all true. So as part of the sentence, a federal judge ordered this 68-year-old lady who's going to jail for 15 months to pay approximately $452,000 in restitution. You know what's interesting? She only got 15 months, and she did this for 10 years. Fraud, stealing from those who need it. Wasn't it that Tina Peters lady in Colorado that simply whistle blew on election fraud and got 9 years in a very strict, I don't think it was maximum security, but at least medium, and a lot of solitary confinement. Interesting, these differences in sentences. They don't seem logical. All right, so that's it, guys. The fraud of the day, or the fraud of the week, I suppose. That came out on June 3rd. All right, so anyway, hope you're all doing great. My Friday Fraud Law reviews are always fun to read. At least it keeps us enlightened as to how bad it really is. If you guys are around next Wednesday, I am having the Wednesday 1 p.m. live Q&A live stream on YouTube. So anyone can ask their Social Security questions or just stop in and say hi in the chat so we know you're there and enjoy. And then, of course, we have our smaller little segments that come out 12 noon when I'm timely each and every day. Okay. And if you have any videos that you need or you think would be appropriate, do feel free to mention it under any video, even if it's unrelated to that video, or if you have a question that you just want answered. If I can do it in a video, I will. If it's more appropriately done in the written form, I'll do it. And if it's impossible either way, I'll let you know. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.